Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Transportation System.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Double Dose of Disney podcast. As always, my name is Brittany, and I am joined here by my table servants, loving husband, Tony. This week on the podcast, we're mashing it up. Instead of giving ideas on things to do, we're actually talking about mistakes to avoid on your next Disney vacation. As always, our hope is kind of to provide you some new ideas. So whether it's going to be your first trip to Disney World or it's like your 135th trip, it's never too late to like make changes to your Disney routine, you know?
Yep, this is a tricky one that always continues to change too. Because once you go on your first trip, you think you know what you're talking about, then it changes.
Yeah.
Based on what you're doing, it changes.
Right.
So these are ones that we have learned, we have made the mistake of doing, that we've seen, and let's get into them and talk about them.
Yeah, a lot of times, like, the way that we come up with, like, ideas and things like that is, like Tony said, you learn by doing, you know? And so it's... all of these are things that some of them are things we have had to learn like the hard way. Not necessarily the hard way. You're never going to like have a bad Disney trip, but you know what I mean.
But at Disney, you do not want to learn the hard way.
Very, very true.
Money is the hard way at Disney most of the time.
Very true.
And you don't want to do that all the time.
True. And as a side note, if you hear like any like ugh in the background or anything, that's our girls. They were born on November 14th. We have another episode that we're going to put out later this week. It's kind of going to detail their story and everything like that. So that's just kind of like some background noise that you might hear. So we've got the girls in here. We've got our dog in here.
We've got a full audience.
Yeah.
A live show.
It went from 2 people and a dog to 4 people and a dog. So yeah, we've got a whole audience here. So ready to get into it?
All right, editors, let's do it.
Okay, so the first thing to avoid when you are going on your Disney vacation is don't book a deluxe resort if you're not going to enjoy it during your vacation. I personally feel like there's like pressure to like book at a deluxe resort because you want to stay at the nicest accommodations on Disney property. But if you are planning on spending every single day in the parks, you're not doing a resort day, you're just focusing on like spending time in the parks, you're wasting money that you could save and spend in other areas during your vacation. So instead of staying at Grand Floridian, you could stay at Pop Century Resort or the All-Star Resorts and still have an amazing vacation. And you could take that money and put it toward like character dining, Bippity Boppity Boutique, like all of those things, you know? What do you think?
Yeah, this one is specific. Specific. So it's like you're saying, if you know you're going to be spending, it's your first time or whatever time, and you're like, I don't care about going to the pool.
Right.
I'm all about the parks. Obviously, you're not going to do a deluxe.
Yeah.
But if it's an occasion, it's a birthday, it's you're going on an anniversary trip
right.
or something like it's really specific. But for us, we like to do both.
Yeah.
But like I said, it goes back to maybe it's a shorter trip. You're not going to do deluxe probably.
True.
It's gonna be just a waste of money.
Well, typically for us, when we go to Disney in February for our anniversary trip, we tend to stay longer. So we'll do a deluxe resort because we have like days outside the parks and stuff like that. But we typically do a shorter trip in September. And if we are annual pass holders, we could go more. You know what I mean? And you don't necessarily...
Santa, bring it.
You don't necessarily need to have a deluxe resort like Tony was saying. Like we've stayed, I think our first trip we stayed at Art of Animation the entire time, but we didn't have any resort days. And so that was perfect because it wasn't like we were missing out on using this amazing amenity. Not that like the value resorts don't have those amenities.
Even in the same vein, it wasn't deluxe, but we stayed at Caribbean Beach before.
Right.
And we didn't even get to explore that resort just because of what we were doing that day, or those couple of days we had split stays. So it's like, if you don't purposely make time to do it, you're not going to see the resort most likely. You're probably just going to go in and out, eat a little bit, and not really enjoy and adventure the whole resort because there's just so much to do if you don't like have at least a half resort day at least. Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So like if you aren't doing like any resort time, I would recommend staying at a value resort. You could stay at a moderate resort if you want to. Obviously it's up to whatever you want to do, your budget and all of that stuff. But like Tony said, I feel like when we stayed at Caribbean Beach, because we didn't do a resort day there, there's so many, like I want us to go back and stay there. We both talked about that just because like we didn't eat at Sebastian's Bistro. We didn't eat at these different places. So we were really paying for something that we weren't necessarily utilizing.
I think all this is going to start changing like it already is now because Disney is doing it's being more lenient, or kind of how it used to be too. So like the you don't have to reserve, or you can cancel reservations. Like
right,
really
2 hours before,
and then park reservations are going away.
Right.
And
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like stuff's being more lenient, so it's gonna be easier, not have to be such a strict schedule going forward. I feel like, and you can be more on the cuff. Say,
True.
Today let's just stay at the resort today.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember, like, on our first trip, being on the Skyliner, and there were some people that were changing their plans, and that was before, like, park pass reservations were required and stuff like that. So, like Tony said, they're making changes. So you could just decide, I don't want to go to Magic Kingdom Day. I'm going to stay at my resort and enjoy these amenities.
We like schedule.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not really that much of a full-blown vacation if you've got an itinerary all day long.
No, very true.
That's going to make it funner.
Yeah, no, definitely. More fun. Number 2, don't think you have to have park hopper tickets to have a great Disney vacation. I specifically put this on here because when we were planning our first trip, I kind of felt like, everybody who's a Disney pro has park hopper tickets, and I don't necessarily want to allocate the money toward that. I personally believe that opinion is wrong now. Like, we've only had park hopper tickets a handful of times. Yeah, I think we're gonna get them this year for our February trip if we don't have annual passes. And then because of the fact we want to be able to go to like Epcot, we're gonna be staying at Boardwalk, and we want to be able to go to Epcot whenever we want to. But with that said, like, having park hopper tickets, unless you are on a shorter trip to Disney, like if you're doing like 2 or 3 days, that allows you to see all 4 parks without having to skip one. Or if you've been to Disney multiple times, just because of the fact that, like, when you have park hopper tickets, you still have to go to one park and enjoy that park, and then you have to leave, factor in transportation time and all of that stuff to get over to the other park. So if it's your first trip, you really could lose time, like, transferring from park to park, you know?
Yeah, this one's definitely overrated.
I agree.
And there's 2 half-day parks, quote unquote.
Which one?
Well, I guess not. No, it's just Animal Kingdom. We say half day in a way like we don't. The sense of what people say.
I was just getting ready to
Epcot
say
can be too.
Yeah.
Which we switch it up. I mean, we like to go all day and go in the morning, but I mean, at the same time too, we have gone just like kind of like a half day and spent the evening time there too.
Where?
In Epcot.
Oh yeah.
Which would be
definitely.
The ones that you know.
Yeah, and I like
have to go to.
With that said, like, Epcot, I feel like, is a whole new park. We were talking about that yesterday. They've got the new fireworks show, Luminous, that starts tonight, December 5th. They also have the Dreamers Point statue, which I absolutely cannot wait to see in person. Take a photo beside. That is a statue of, like, Walt that's looking out over Epcot, because Epcot was the park Walt was most excited about, and he obviously never got to see it come to fruition. There's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's the whole, like, new, like, Communicore area, like, all of, like, with the walls down and everything like that. So I feel like Epcot's a brand new park. I definitely think that it's a full day park. We think all of them are. Animal Kingdom, I feel like if you're just going for the attractions, you could, and then you could hop between Animal Kingdom and Epcot. But otherwise, I agree.
So park hoppers, would you use it just Epcot, Animal Kingdom on a day, or would you use it to end at Magic Kingdom and start like at Epcot, or how would you do it?
If I was on a shorter trip, you mean?
In general, just to utilize that.
A shorter trip, I would do a full day at Magic Kingdom, full day at Hollywood Studios, and then start at Animal Kingdom, because Animal Kingdom opens the earliest, and then park hop over to Epcot. Right now, you have to wait until 2 p.m. to park hop, but beginning on January 9th, you'll be able to park hop, like, as soon as you want to. So you could do the attractions you want to at Animal Kingdom and then hop over to Epcot, because Epcot stays open later than Animal Kingdom. That's the way that I would strategize it.
I concur.
We have done it before. Also, another way to do it is to park hop. If you decide to get park hoppers, to park hop between Hollywood Studios and Epcot, because they both use the Skyliner, and that's kind of like an easier mode of transportation. Like, you're not going to have to, like, take a bus and all of those things. So we had spent the day at Hollywood Studios one time, and then we park hopped over to Epcot for the evening and ate at La Hacienda de San Angel and, like, watch the fireworks from there.
So for us, I like doing park hopping based on, or just circumstances.
Yeah.
But now that we have
the girls,
a set of twins on the side, I don't think we'd even do it.
I think we would. I think
It's like a lot of work.
I think we would, depending on the parks. Like, so we had talked about when we go in February, we absolutely love eating at the quick service location in the France Pavilion, the Le Crêperie de Paris, Crêpes à Emporter by Le Crêperie de Paris. We love eating there. So we had talked about just like being able to like walk in there to like get breakfast and go somewhere else. But I think we would park hop like strategically. You could park hop, like go to Epcot, like grab your breakfast, and then walk through Epcot, get on the monorail at the front of Epcot, and take it over to Magic Kingdom. You know?
Yeah, you are talking about a perfect day at Disney. And if our girls are like that right now, that sounds perfect. We have
Our
no
girls are
clue
like sleeping in the corner.
if this is how they're gonna stay when we're there.
No, very, very, very
So
true.
would I like to do it? Of course.
Yeah, very
Would it
true.
happen? We don't know.
Yeah, no. I think too, like, honestly, Park Hopper isn't that much to upgrade to on the cost of your trip, but at the same time, it just really depends. Like our first trip, for example, we were on a budget, and
Balling.
it was not. We were
balling.
balling on a budget, and so
We
between
came back and then looked at the ball on the ground.
and but so between, like, we knew we wanted to do the dining plan because that was our first trip. Between the dining plan and park hoppers, we were like, we're gonna pay for the dining plan, save money, and not do park hoppers. And I feel like at the same time, looking back, it would have been like sensory overload if we were trying to go from one park to the other on our first trip.
No, because there's way too much. I've never even been there before.
No, I know.
So park hopping, you're not gonna do it unless you've been and experienced that part before.
Yeah.
Or else, because you're just breezing through.
Right.
You're trying to just quote unquote, you're just getting stuff done.
Yeah, and like especially if you have like
enjoying it.
dining reservations at, like, let's say you have dining reservations at Magic Kingdom, you're spending the day at Hollywood Studios, that can be really stressful to have to like maneuver over on your first trip.
Like park hopper, for the most part, I feel like you're doing a Genie Plus challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going and what can I get done? Boom, gone later.
No, definitely.
Like, doesn't sound like a fun.
And I
day.
did, and the day that we hopped from Hollywood Studios over to Epcot, Hollywood Studios is my favorite park, like I always talk about. And hopping over to Epcot that day, I felt like we missed things that we would have done had we stayed in the park the full day.
Yeah, if you're only going once or twice a year, I don't think it's worth. Like,
No, I agree.
Maybe do it a day.
Yeah.
But not the whole trip.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I always recommend that to people. Like, I don't recommend doing it every single day. Okay, number 3, don't make more than one dining reservation per day. This is a tip that I learned on our first trip because I had like 2 dining reservations for every single day. I can be very like type A with things, and I was like, oh, this is going to be such a good idea. We'll have dining reservations at the Plaza for breakfast, which the Plaza does not do breakfast right now at Magic Kingdom, and I wish they would bring it back. We had dining reservations at the Plaza for breakfast. The night before, we had dining reservations at Boathouse for dinner to watch the Super Bowl, and then we had dining reservations for Skipper Canteen that evening, so we never made it to the Plaza for breakfast because that was just too much. I feel like Tony had said earlier, like the spontaneity of going to Disney and not having so many plans is like that's a vacation. You don't want to like have everything so regimented out that it feels like you're going to another day of work, you know? What do you think?
I want to play devil's advocate in this one.
What?
Make as many as you want. Because you can cancel them anytime you
Well,
want.
that's true.
Because they made it really easy.
But don't
now.
hoard them.
Hoard all you want.
No.
The rules are the rules, and
No.
everybody can use them now. So make as many as you want, and then then choose at the end. You don't even got to use any if you don't
People
want
that hoard dining reservations are like the bane of my existence because I have clients that want to go. They're going for their first trip. They're probably not ever going to go back. That's their intention.
But there's
at
still
least.
availability all the time.
Yeah, Disney has those things to make more availability. Our dining reservation window opened up today for our February trip, and I was looking earlier. I'm going to tell you this. I was looking earlier, and like Chef Art Smith's Homecoming, which never had reservations in the past, had reservations like all day for lunch, and then they had like later dinner reservations, not like 7
on
o'clock.
the side, like we know, like you can check when you're there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because when people are canceling the day of, their stuff pops up, so you don't have to get it the 60 days out.
Right.
So you might as well book something.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But then you're not always out of it. When you go, if you want to eat somewhere, just keep checking.
Yeah, I just change it.
Pops up. We've done it a lot.
Yeah, we've done that a lot. Like, I haven't made our dining reservations yet for our February trip. I need to, but it's like what Tony said. The dining reservations are way more plentiful now than they used to be, and they're a lot easier to find, like, close to, like, the day of your trip, you know?
Boom.
Number 4, don't skip the opportunity to enjoy the parks leisurely. This kind of goes back to my theory of
amenities.
No, the parks.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay,
so
there's for some reason.
when you come into the Magic Kingdom, don't be like so fixated on hitting Space Mountain first thing that you skip over like the magic of like Magic Kingdom in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like the glass blowing in Magic Kingdom, which I don't even know if anybody really knows about that unless you've seen it on a
vlog.
A vlog like we've seen it a couple times. Yeah. There's so much more to do. But I guess if you don't really like explore yourself, or you're not finding out through social media or whatever, you're not gonna know. But there's so much in between time that you can like explore, whether you're waiting on a ride or for your lunch or dinner. Like there's so much to do. And every park.
And like, don't get me wrong, like go to Magic Kingdom and be excited to get on the attractions. But like Tony was just saying, there's so much to explore in each of the parks. The glassblowing place is Crystal Arts. It's on Main Street, USA. It is owned. Well, it's owned by the Arribas Brothers, and the Arribas Brothers have a glassblowing location in every single park around the world. Every Disney park around the world. They were hand selected by Walt Disney himself, like from the World's Fair. They were discovered by him at the World's Fair. And so it's a really cool like piece of Disney history to me that you can take part in the parks. And when we spent time like waiting for like watching like the glass blower, it was such a cool thing. He was blowing like pumpkins like out of glass
every day.
And every day, all day, 365 days a year.
You can request stuff too.
Yeah, you can request stuff. I mean, they have like these huge like crystal like castles, the Cinderella castle, that are insanely priced, but it's a really cool experience. And had we just been like, we've got to go to the Jungle Cruise right now or Space Mountain, we would have missed out on that, you know?
Half the reason we like Disney and we got into it is because of the history.
Right.
Every park has a history of like, hidden details, hidden Mickeys, or certain things in every park that are specifically for that from other countries, whatever it is. Like Animal Kingdom is a huge one on all the details and things from Joe Rogan. Like it's huge. Like so, just do a little research on each park before you go, and then whether it's the windows on Main Street, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
It at face value just looks like looks like a park.
Right. No, definitely.
But there's not a square inch that doesn't have something that they put there purposely for your entertainment.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I definitely agree with that. And it's like every single park you go to, like, is no different. Like whether it's looking at hidden Mickeys or finding out history details, like all of those things. Looking at the walls at Disney that they don't want you to see are called Go Away Green, and they're specifically painted a color of green that your eyes don't necessarily fixate on, so you don't see it. You might see like the things that are in front of it or whatever like that until you really like focus on it. It's just those little details like that make Disney, you know?
So how about the trash cans? If we're in Main Street USA, man, everybody knows.
Sure.
What's up with the trash cans there?
What do you mean?
Why are they never full?
Oh, because the trash cans, there is a tunnel underneath that suctions the trash out.
Never going back.
Wah, wah, wah.
Which you can take a tour, actually, like what's it called?
Keys of the Kingdom tour.
We still have not done. I want to do.
No, yeah, we want to do that. We obviously won't be doing that for a while with the girls, because I think you have to be 12. The kids have to be 12 to go on it. The reason we haven't done that, like, I think that those tours are really cool, but to me, when we live in Florida one day, like, we'll do things like that, because it's a full day tour, basically. It's 8 hours. But you have to
decide if it's going to be a spoiler to you to the park.
Right, and that's kind of my thing is it going to be a spoiler?
Space Mountain in the light.
I've never heard anyone say that it ruined the magic, who's done it. But at the same time, you're seeing like the utilidor underneath that the cast members use and like all of those things, so it could spoil it. I don't know. I still think, like, I can't wait to do it. I can't wait for us to do tours and stuff like that. But again, I think it'll be something that we wait to do, like, once we live in Florida one day. And then we have, like, more time to be able to go to the parks, you know?
I know.
I just feel like it's hard to, like, mess it up. To do that during a vacation. Number 5. Don't settle for Chef Mickey's when you could dine at Topolino's.
Very specific.
Very specific. So I have a...
This one
hatred with Chef Mickey's. Not a hatred. I just feel like Chef Mickey's is incredibly overrated for what you get. You basically get a continental breakfast buffet.
And where's this place at?
At the Contemporary Resort.
That's my point. That's like, all right.
What?
Overall, this is kind of not just probably our take. I think Contemporary is overrated.
I think we have girls, so
this place to be in there for us, I just feel like for the price and what it is.
Yeah. It's
like
kind of cheesy.
Like Topolino's, and we're more adventurous eaters, so
right.
It's more kind of towards that.
Yeah, so Topolino. So I actually looked the other day, and Chef Mickey's, which serves like Mickey waffles and all those things from a buffet, with Mickey and the gang in like their chef attire, in the middle of Contemporary Resort, is like, I want to say it's $54 per adult for breakfast. If you go to Topolino's, which is at the top of Riviera Resort, that has like a beautiful view, that has like a more upscale or an elevated menu, they've got like quiche Lorraine and different things like that. If you go there, it's $49. You can save $5 a person and you get better food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, $54
a person.
It's gotta be worth it.
Right. I just don't think Chef Mickey's is worth it.
Yeah, we've not eaten there, but just popular opinion. If you've eaten there, let us know.
Yeah,
if it was
let us know. If we're completely wrong, let us know. But we've never done character dining before. We're going to do character dining on our next trip for the first time. And I actually just asked Tony before this. I said, where should I book? And he was like, Topolino's. The girls said they want to go there.
For us.
Yeah, it's for us. There, I mean, they're going to be there, but...
Yeah, this is all for us.
Yeah, they're going to be like, what is going on? The girls love to look at the lights. And I told Tony, I said, we're going to take them to Disney World. And they're literally just going to be there and be like, oh, there's Mickey, but let me look at the ceiling lights.
In our living room.
Right.
All day long.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they'll be a few months older by then, but still.
Get sunglasses for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Star Trek glasses.
Number 6. Don't let someone else plan your trip. This is actually Tony's tip that he came up with. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, so number 1, don't ever go with a travel planner, advisor, or anybody who thinks they know what they're talking about. Just don't ever do it.
Hey, you mean book with them?
We'll see y'all next week. Nah, do that. But no, so we did this for probably our first 2 trips. It's specifically just one example. We didn't go on certain rides because
Star Tours.
Certain people, vlogs, whatever, said you get motion sickness on this ride. You won't like this, whatever, food, whatever it is. And it is not the same across the board. Yeah. We didn't ride Star Tours forever because we thought
Millennium Falcon.
We thought we would get sick.
Yeah.
And just really, that's half the land we didn't even do. So definitely try everything. I mean, and ask the cast members. They'll tell you straight up. You're going to get sick? Okay, well, here, don't do this one. Or you might get sick here. Sit here.
Right, that's what I was going to say. They'll place you somewhere.
But across the board, just try everything once.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Definitely book with a travel planner. Hi, my name's Brittany. I'm a travel planner, and would love to book your vacation. But at the same time, book with a travel planner if it's your first trip, because it just makes everything more seamless. Even if you're someone who doesn't like to necessarily plan, book with a travel planner every single trip. It doesn't cost you anything, but at the same time, that's something that I frequently say, on my TikToks or when I'm talking to my clients. I don't personally there's some travel planners, and no hate about this if you do this, but I don't personally like planning out every detail of someone's vacation, because I'm not that person. And as much as I may know about their family or their situation, you know your family better, and so it's better to do research and decide what you should do specifically for your vacation, rather than taking advice from me, who I only know what you've told me about what you want on your vacation.
So this whole podcast, don't even pay attention to any of this. Don't let us tell you just delete this whole thing from your mind.
I know, it's kind of like a contrast, because we're saying, hey, don't listen to other people, and we obviously have a Disney podcast. I create Disney content telling people what to do, but it's always just a suggestion.
Our experiences,
right? You
still have to decide for yourself, your family.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What you like to eat, what you ride. Just don't not do something because somebody's opinion said we didn't like it. It wasn't worth it for us.
Our first trip, we didn't ride Rise of the Resistance, and I think it's just because we didn't understand the virtual queue at the time. We also didn't ride Millennium Falcon or Star Tours for like the first three
land,
trips.
The whole land.
And we didn't ride Dinosaur because I heard someone on Instagram say it was like a simulator and it was really jerky. Dinosaur is not a simulator.
And it's probably
and
our
it's not.
top 5, one of our top 5 rides.
Yeah, and is it jerky? Sure, but like I had heard that it gave you motion sickness. I completely disagree with that.
If you're talking from a kid's point of view, yeah, because the last time we read it, we had like 6 kids in there.
Yeah, and they were
probably
ducking. It was so funny.
But if you're an adult, you're gonna love this one.
Right, I agree.
Especially the front row. You gotta get the front row because you can't see anybody's head in front of you, and it's really dark.
Yeah, and hopefully they don't take Dinosaur
It's
away
like
before girls ride it.
Space Mountain, because you don't know what's coming ahead of you.
No, yeah. The Dinosaur is definitely like a thrill attraction that I feel like kind of flies under the radar. Like Disney
You better get it while you can, because it might be gone.
Yeah, and they do a good job of like disclosing like, hey, this can be a thrill attraction, but at the same time,
That is overrated on how they disclose that one.
why?
Because it is just way too much hype for like, they're trying to say if you have anything, if you know,
Oh, true.
if you're colorblind, don't ride this ride. Like, they
Colorblind.
go like a little too far on it.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true.
I've never seen anybody throwing up after this ride.
True. Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I mean, it's ain't Tower of Terror.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Do you have any other suggestions of things not to do?
Give us your suggestions. If any of these are like, that was a dumb one, or you've done something that you disagree with, we want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll put up a box over on our
Or something you want
Instagram
to hear about.
the day that this episode comes out, so that it will come out on Wednesday, December 6th. And I will put up the box on our Instagram stories. Drop your suggestions of mistakes not to make at Walt Disney World, or like Tony said, if you think like that's dumb, why would I skip doing that at Disney?
We want to hear the debate.
Let us know. So that's going to do it for this episode. As always, go ahead and give us a follow on the Double Dose of Disney fam over on Instagram and TikTok to keep the fun rolling. And please, please, please leave us a little rating or review on your favorite podcast platform. That goes so far to help us continue growing our audience. We will see you right back here next week.
See you next time.